dragged this material out from underneath the bench, and I'm going to make a fork to bolt to the upright and eventually weld to the upright that the rose joint will then attach to. I'm going to do one for each side. This is where I'm at so far, 14mm hole. So what I've done is I've made it so that the long bolt will go through, the head will be on the inside, just enough room for a 21mm spanner in there, and also enough room for the head of the rose joint. This bolt will end up needing to be machined down and rethreaded at different length. So now I just need to turn the compressor on. The lighting is terrible, sorry. So I need to turn the compressor on, get the die grinder out and quickly skim a bit off the inside to get rid of that weld and clean out the burrs, and then I can assemble it on the subframe. There we are, the brackets are ready to go. Here we go then, pretty successful I think. I've only put a little quick bead across the top there, or the bottom, whichever way you look at it, just to secure it in the correct position for now. And what I will do is I'll take both uprights off, possibly tomorrow evening, and ooh, just noticed something. If this were to come loose, I'm going to get some weird goings on, so might need to come up with a better solution for here. I'll show you this quickly. Loads of adjustment now. And then I'll try and show no bumps there, but Kind of already did this in a previous video. Oh my word! So it goes through all of that travel without any noticeable, visually noticeable bump steer. Obviously I'll have to put bump steer gauges on it. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this. In the last video I said that I really didn't want to put a fork on the outboard end of the tow arm, but I'm just going to go with it. I'm worried that it won't be strong enough. Some of the rallycross cars at work have a fork outboard for the tow adjustment, and they have no problem there. Still a little bit concerned that there'll be quite a lot of force because this is right at the bottom. On the rallycross cars it comes in midway. Decided to go with a fork. Looks like it's going to work. It's a quick, easy solution. Hopefully it won't break. It's 4mm thick material. Tomorrow evening I'll probably take it all apart and weld it all, and then I've got to start making the arms for the other side. I need to make some more top hats like those, and I need to make some more like those, and I need to make, no, I don't need to make any like those, I need to make some like those but bigger for in there, so the same as those. And I need to make some more of those to go in there. So in total I've got another 6 top hats, or misalignment spacers, whatever you want to call them. Hubs are all welded. Going to chuck them in the boot of the car now. Probably make sure that they're cooled off on our first. But yep. Came out okay. I didn't put that much effort into cleaning, just quickly wire brushed them, so they could be better, but it is what it is. Hello doggy. 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 Hello. That dog hates me. Got a little bit of an update. I've actually been working on this for once. I've got through a whole bunch of welding underneath. I've ground back all of this. There was a couple of like cavities up in here that would have filled with crap and rubber, so that's all good. Probably gonna, I think there's a couple of bits here that need some weld and then grinding back. I've stitched the tube to the new floor pan. I've ground back the tunnel, make that look a bit better. I've welded all the way up through there, which looks a hell of a lot better. I'm marking out at the minute these sills so I can cut the ends of the sills off and get rid of this bulk of material here that looks nasty. Just going to make a nice panel to go there. This is one of the bits I did like back in June or July when I really wasn't feeling working on the car, and I rushed it and it really looks terrible. Terrible welding. I just really wasn't in the mood, and when I'm not in the mood I should just leave it alone. So I need to grind that back, and also at the back here I've welded all the way along there. I've decided I'm going to blast some big holes through this back panel and dimple die just to lose some more weight and also add some strength. So I'm also going to cut off around here and grind back all these welds to make it look nice. This is another bit where I rushed it. I just should have ground off all the galv coating on the wheel arch, and I just didn't bother. I just welded through the galv and warped the hell out of the panel. This was back when it was 4-wheel drive, and I really should have just taken my time. I also stitched the piece of chassis underneath here, like underneath, so that's all good. I've cut this and like sorted this out a bit, so I just need to make a patch to go in there, and then obviously grind this back, make that look nice. I'll do that at the same time as making this sorting this weld out. Also ground it back on the other side, and also tidied up like there and got rid of some metal. Got a little bit of welding to do here, tidy that up and make that look nice. It's actually original MX5, original Micra chassis, just so the bumper goes on in the right place. So I'm quite happy with all the welding that I've done along there, and ground back the tunnel opening to make that look nice. And then I've also just trimmed the saddle so it goes up against the tunnel tighter. I suspect I need to come up here a bit more to get it even tighter to the tunnel. So during the week I plan on finishing up. I need to put a cross member underneath the floor. I've got a cross member here for the seat rails to sit to. I also need to put a cross member in the back for the seat rails to bolt in at the back. But yeah, I've also cut this off on this side as well, just to try and make it look tidier and lose some weight. And then it'll mean that I'll be able to get the car a bit lower, and I'll make some we use some stuff called Kalon, some plastic stuff called Kalon at work. That will we use it to make arch liners or twin techs, but most likely it'll be Kalon. So I'm just going to get some Kalon and do that. So it's pretty much just a case of sorting out this back end and getting it ready to go. Matt said he would help me, Matt Urch said he would help me bend up the tubes. So yeah, it's good to get some progress on this. I've probably put in about 3 or 4 hours into it so far since the summary video I made. So yeah, I'm just going to crack on now, and I've got a spare hour here, so I'm just going to get as much done as I can in this hour. I've just put the cover back onto my chair, and as you can see it fits a lot tighter against the tunnel. I'll show you something else quickly though. So as you can see, it's like impossible to get to the bolts down there, and what I might do is just put holes in the tunnel with covers on the inside of the tunnel so that you can get to the bolts and lift the seat out. Alternatively, what we do on the RS200s at work is we have like little squares of steel with bolts welded into them, and then we rivet them to the inside of the top of the rail here, and then you can drop it down through the floor and put nuts on from underneath, and that's how we get her around not being able to get the bolts in. I'm really sorry about the focus, but my phone is not doing very well these days, and I'm using my phone to record. So this is what we use for the arch liners, some black plastic stuff. So it looks like this. So as you can see, the whole side of the car's cut away, and then just use this to meet up to the outer bodywork. Eventually I'd like to cut all this off my car. And then same on this one as well. And then this one's the same as well. We also use stop the dirt getting up into the engine bay. I've been welding and grinding some of this rear end of the chassis back. I'm trying to finalise a few things. Got like these holes down here filled in. They kind of, it's not come out too pretty on this side, and I had a bit of a rusty hole here that I fixed. That just needs like grinding back, and I'll probably try and do something with this, try and make it look a bit prettier. The other side came out a lot better. Go around there a second. See, this side come out so much better. and we have a fuel tank box welded in. So I need to fabricate an aluminium fuel tank with swell pot and pumps and, you know, everything all inside there. Fill position will be here, going to here, but I think I'm going to remove this and make a stainless plate for it to, like, weld a stainless plate to it so it can bolt to the pillar rather than be welded in, because it's going to be a pig to get in right in behind. And if I don't weld it uniform fully all the way around, it will probably warp and I won't be able to undo this, which actually happened when I put 2 tacks on, or 1 tack. I think I couldn't get the lid off, and then I put a couple more tacks on and it was okay. But yeah, I think that's probably a better plan for that. So the fuel tank box is in, that's a good thing. It's got captive threads, needs a bit of a clean up, all welded in, inside and underneath, outside, you know, on the outside underneath. Also, oh yeah, I dimple dyed the back panel. Oh, I nearly dropped my phone. Yeah, dimple dyed the back panel. Unfortunately, there were some holes here already. It really isn't worth doing anything with them. This is all going to be on a bumper, and it's pretty rough looking back panel anyway. So then I've also cut the ends of the sills off and welded plates on so they're flush, which you can see. All of this is all welded up through here. The bit up there is all welded. See, it's all welded on the inside of the tunnel here to the tank box. Welded through there. I don't think there's a great deal more welding to do on the back end of this car. I think I'm pretty much done. So when I originally did the 4-wheel drive conversion, this piece of boot floor running across the back here was the first boot floor I made, and I didn't weld it in very square to the car. What I had to do was like slit it back just that like 6-inch section so I could get the dimple dies in. And then you can see here I had to do a bit of like welding because the slitting disc went through there. I'll just like flap that back and it'll be sweet as a nut. And also clean all this up, try and unwarp some of this panel. I need to lose some of the material, it's a bit stretched, so I'll either heat it and cool it, or I'll try and do something to try and get that a bit flatter, and then I'll weld that back in nice. I've also ground back and welded all of these bits. These bits still need grinding back. I've done that one already, it needs a bit more. And then there, and over here, and up through there. But yeah, that's basically the back end of the car, ready to be finished with paint or whatnot. The only problem is when I weld in the cage feet and the spreader plates, it might burn off some of the paint. So I'll decide, maybe I'll just like mask off those areas. When I say paint, it's going to be primed and then most likely just Raptored or use Gravitex or something like that. I'm going to cut the rest of these arches off like I said, and you've already seen that with the examples from work of what I'm going to do there. I've got a bit more welding to do at the front. Right, I forgot, but there's a panel up under here. You can only see that there's a panel that needs to come in all the way and close off this area up here. So I need to make that, weld that in. There's a couple of pieces right underneath that requires taking the front subframe out. So whether it goes for roll cage first and then I disassemble it all, or soon as I'm on a bit of a roll, maybe I just drop the engine and subframe out this week and just get it sorted, because it's not taking me very long to do all this. And then there's a bit more like this rubbish down here, where I had to cut the floor to weld the cross members in. A bit of flap disking work here. The cage feet are going to go here and cover this area for the sill stand tube. So that's basically it. I mean, I've got on pretty well, got a lot done. Also, obviously got to do this, but I'm going to wait to just sort this area out until all the shocks are mounted at the rear. And I've got one more lower arm still to make, and then I've got to jig up and make upper arms. So yeah, that's going to be it for now, and hopefully I'll be getting an update a lot sooner. I got a feeling there's going to be like one more update on like welding the front end. Also, I've got to tub this, cut this section here out, because I'm like tyre's going to hit there. I need a bit more clearance here. So yeah, I think there's going to be one more, maybe 2 updates on the front. No, there's going to be 1 update on the front. I'm just going to make it 1 video on the front, and then I'll just ferry it off to get the cage bent up. There's actually less tubes than I thought for the cage, because this one across the top really doesn't need a bending, because the top of the windscreen and top of the roof there is pretty much flat, so it would just be a straight bar there. So yeah, that's going to be that for this video, guys, and I'll see you when I make another video, and hopefully I won't leave it too long this time.